What's going on, guys? Happy 2025. I wanted to go ahead and knock out my 11th through 20th favorite records of 2024. So 2024 was an absolutely crazy year of releases. Probably the best year of releases on record for me since I've started paying attention to like year-end lists and just sort of really keeping up with metal. So kind of spoiled for choice this year, and basically every single one of these records could have been in my top 10. I think I've said that before about previous years, but like I truly mean it. Making this list was agonizing, and eventually I had to just lock it down and say, okay, whatever, I'm done. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Quick disclaimer, 3 of these records are not metal at all. I don't personally like to do separate genre lists because I like a lot of different genres of music. That's not a secret. And for me, it's more gratifying to just put it all in one list and not divvy everything up. So I'll get 2 quick ones out of the way that are just not metal at all. My 20th favorite record of the year was a new Balance and Composure record, With You in Spirit. Balance and Composure is like a Northeast emo, post-hardcore, alt-rock type of band. Almost the polar opposite of metal. Not that aggressive. There's some heavy-ish parts on this record, but I mean, generally speaking, it's just kind of a throwback to the 2010s, early 2010s, and just sort of the, emo and post-hardcore sort of wave of bands that were coming out at the time. I still really like this band. I think they're probably the band that has done the most for me in recent years, just in terms of like consistency and updating their sound to still be relevant and still be a band that I really enjoy listening to. So that's number 20. Number 19 is a record called Watch Me Bleed by a band called Missing Link. Missing Link is like really heavy hardcore. I guess you could debatably say this is metalcore, kind of metal adjacent, but it's just a hardcore band. I have a soft spot for like tough guy hardcore. It really resonates with me. And yeah, this record really blew me away. The lyricism, I think, is honestly what elevated this one for me. It's not your standard kind of lowbrow, typical hardcore lyrics. A lot of thought went into these, and they're just really sort of introspective and personal while still being just like a really heavy record. So that was number 19. Number 18, finally getting into some metal here, was the new Spectral Wound. I feel like this is way too low on the list, but then I look at every record above it and I'm like, well, I can't really move it up. But I mean, this record was amazing. So the new Spectral Wound, I mean, if you're not familiar, this is black metal's darling right now. They're a very popular band. Quebec black metal, very fast, very icy, grim, doing the whole second wave thing. But I think what really makes this band shine is that they have so many catchy, memorable riffs on all of their records. And that's something they're just getting better and better about. So it's number 18, could have been number 10, could have been number 5. Yeah, so really catchy record. I'm sure most of you have heard it, but give it a listen if you haven't. Number 17 is the new Djevel record. Again, could have been top 10. It's called Natt till ende. I believe Faust from Emperor is the drummer of this band, so it's second wave black metal royalty here. But it's got a newness to it and a freshness that's not just like second wave glorification, even though it is like, true Norwegian black metal in the most legitimate possible sense. There's a sense of newness while still maintaining, the production ethos and the riff styles of second wave black metal. This is an incredible record. There, again, a lot of catchy moments on this one. A little less catchy than Spectral Wound, but this one's more about just the general vibe and the true, the true satanic spirit, I guess, of that scene specifically. It just really captures that in a really potent way. So, number 16 is Whoredom Rife with Den Vrede Makt. This is another Norwegian band. This is, again, just what you would expect from Norwegian black metal. Honestly, I can pretty much say the exact same thing about this one as I said about the Djevel record. It's very catchy, very aggressive. This one's a little more polished, I would say, than the Djevel record. It's a little more well-produced, I guess, but it's got the same type of energy and ethos. Incredible album art as well. This one really blew me away. I like Whoredom Rife, but a lot of the years rather that they release albums, I listen to it and I just kind of forget about it. But this one really stuck with me, and I definitely kept coming back to it. Number 15 is Vorga with Beyond the Palest Star. Vorga's kind of cool because while they're playing traditional black metal, there's the sort of the lyrical content, the topics, I guess, that they deal with is very sci-fi, very futuristic, which definitely injects a little newness and a little freshness into the black metal genre. Kind of spacey synths and stuff while still being identifiably black metal. It's a really fun listen, and it's fresh and new, and that's something I'm really valuing more and more. A lot of the time, like with the past 2 records that I just mentioned on my list, I like the old school vibe, but it's also cool to hear like something new and something different that is pushing the genre forward. Number 14 is Tzompantli with Beating the Drums of Ancestral Force. Tzompantli is a death doom band from Southern California, members of Zabalba, which is a hardcore band, deathcore, metalcore, whatever. But this is definitely just straight up metal, and this is just like 30 minutes of ass-beating death doom. It is really heavy, and they managed to incorporate, sort of ritualistic drums and chanting that really evoke, Central American heritage and history and culture. And it's a really fun album. great for the jam. You know, it's just like a really heavy, engaging, catchy listen. This is one I spent a lot of time with. Easily could have been top 10. I need to stop saying that. Just know going forward, all of these easily could and should have been in my top 10. So number 13 is Rituals of the Dead Hand with the Wretched and the Vile. This is another Death Doom album. That's a genre I've been really getting into lately. This one is a little like darker and grimmer, I would say, than the Tzompantli. That one's a little more energetic, I guess. This is definitely kind of almost leaning into the black metal territory, but, you know, with doomier, slower parts and sort of heavier vocals, I guess. This is a Dutch band. They are pretty unique sounding as far as I can tell. I mean, I'm pretty new to the Death Doom genre, but it feels pretty fresh what they're doing because they've managed to incorporate a lot of extreme metal genres into one effective whole that doesn't feel piecemeal. Number 12 is the new Ulcerate record, Cutting the Throat of God. Man, Ulcerate is one of my favorite death metal bands, and Stare Into Death and Be Still is probably my favorite death metal record ever. It is just incredible stuff. And this album, unfortunately, didn't quite live up to that standard for me, but it is still incredibly good. It's got a very similar vibe. I almost, like, sometimes I call it atmospheric death metal just because it's very riffy, and obviously Jamie Samorad is one of the best drummers in metal. So, you know, it is very focused on musical content, but there's just an overall vibe too that I think is sort of makes the project stand out from other death metal bands, and especially other technical death metal bands. There's a very atmospheric undercurrent and kind of overcurrent, I guess, because it feels very intentional. That really sets this apart from traditional death metal. So yeah, that's number 12 for me. Number 11, last non-metal album on the list. No, that's not true. My top 10 has one non-metal album, but number 11 for me is the new Twin Tribes. Twin Tribes is a darkwave duo from Texas. Nothing really metal about this at all, but I've really started to enjoy darkwave as well, especially just as a little palate cleanser from all the metal that I listen to. And yeah, there's just something about this that's very eerie. A lot of the lyrics deal with the occult, and I guess in that sense it's sort of, you know, related to what I like about metal too, but really just, you know, catchy hooks. I feel like a lot of darkwave kind of focuses on being dancey or, you know, being music for goths to go to the club to. And, you know, this probably is that technically, but I feel like there's a little more emphasis on, again, that atmosphere and that actual darkness. You know, it's not just like spooky dance music. It's actual well-crafted atmospheric post-punk darkwave, that type of stuff. So yeah, this is an album I really enjoyed. This is a project I've really started to enjoy, and I really look forward to hearing more from them. So that's my 11 through 20, 20 through 11. Top 10 will be coming shortly. If you're watching this on the day that it was posted, I'll be doing a stream with some of the hiking metal guys talking about our top 10 albums of the year. I'll probably do it, well, I will definitely do a separate video for my own channel where I go over those albums, but that'll be a little more detailed and in-depth and interactive. So if you want to come check that out, I'll definitely be posting the links on my socials. Appreciate you guys watching. Hope your 2025 is off to a wonderful start, and looking forward to some great releases this year. And guys, happy 2024. Wrong. I'm not having fun. I literally don't remember what I was saying.